Sedona is not emptying out by any means, but there are several places that are cooling off. And as these neighborhoods cool off, people don't really notice the shift until it's already happened. Homes are sitting a bit longer, buyers are getting a bit pickier, and the sellers are really having to move mountains to get to the finish line. When you look at what actually buyers are doing right now, the map is actually quite clear. So in this video, I'm going over the 5 places that are cooling off and we see people moving out of, and then where are those buyers and sellers moving to? And then lastly, we'll look at how that impacts you as a buyer or a seller in the Sedona and Verde Valley market now. I'm Cami, and my husband Greg and I help buyers and sellers in Sedona and the Verde Valley area, and we would love to get to know you and see how we can help you make your dream of living in this beautiful place a reality. So feel free to give us a call. Let's get started into the 5 areas that are cooling down and that where people tend to be selling and moving out of. The first place is Uptown. The most tourism exposed corridor. People are leaving Uptown because this is the area that feels like you are actually living in the tourist hub, not next to it. The day-to-day friction of not only dealing with tourists, but the traffic and congestion is real, and residents are just over it. A lot of people love it on the weekend to visit and then realize it is a different experience during the week when you actually live there. We see listings that rely on vibe alone, but do not deliver peace and privacy, tend to sit longer, or are the ones that investors are looking at purchasing. The Uptown area can still be a great fit for those buyers that truly want to be close to restaurants, shopping, and the Uptown vibe, but who aren't really bothered with the crowds of people and the traffic congestion. It also is good for second home buyers who use it mostly during off-peak season and still love this area, especially if the home is easy and low maintenance. There are actually some streets that are positioned well and the home feels private despite being in Uptown. But watch out, if you're considering a purchase in the Uptown area, some thoughts to consider would be if the home is priced like a quiet retreat but lives like a high traffic corridor, this is a huge red flag, and you should proceed with caution. Also, parking and access matter more than people expect. The city is working to remedy this problem, but it's not quite here. The second area that we see people leaving is Oak Creek Canyon, which is the northern access corridor for Sedona. The canyon is stunning, but daily life is tied to one main route and one main route only. In this corridor access area, the traffic or seasonal surges can change the whole experience. The weather impacts because it gets snow and what it feels like during busy travel windows. And that's why we see people leaving this area and we aren't seeing a big surge of purchasing there. What we do see is that people fall in love with the canyon. The scenery is beautiful. And then the next conversation is always about real life access and how often or long they will be driving to get to where they need to go. Homes in the canyon are more isolated and typically have high maintenance requirements. They're built in the side of a cliff. Purchasing in the canyon still works for you if your priority is purchasing the lifestyle that the canyon setting offers. It can be an amazing fit for those buyers who want privacy and don't mind a more intentional routine. If you're someone who needs quick errands, quick access, or frequent in-town plans, this can wear on you. The next area that we see people leaving is the village of Oak Creek. This area is actually a double lane area. It not only makes the list for seeing people leaving, but it also makes the list for where people are moving to. We'll talk about that later. People realize they are doing more driving than they expected, especially if they are very focused on living the Sedona lifestyle. People either love or hate the Village. I don't meet many people who are on the fence with the Village. People who buy in the Village get more specific about their routine. The condition of the property really matters in the Village. The Village of Oak Creek still works for those buyers who want a house for the money and a slightly more organized, spread out feel. Often love the Village. If golfing is a priority for you, the Village is definitely a place to consider. Some things to be clear about when purchasing in the Village. Be honest about how often you will drive into West Sedona and what that means in your week. So if you are buying for lifestyle, not just price, make sure the day-to-day aligns before you commit to purchasing in the Village. The next area is not one specific area, but more older stock homes where the upkeep and update math stacks up fast. And we commonly see this in scattered parts of West Sedona throughout different neighborhoods. This is not an anti-West Sedona. In fact, West Sedona is still a very much desirable place to purchase. The cooling off area shows up in the older homes where the update list is just too long and buyers are not willing to deal with that list. We know that buyers want turnkey or they want a discount that matches the work that's needed. The middle ends up getting punished. Purchasing in West Sedona still works for buyers who love established streets and want West Sedona experience and convenience, especially if the home is priced correctly. Some things to consider if you want to purchase in West Sedona is if you see a dated home and it's priced like it's fully updated, get your negotiation hat in place. Please do not underestimate maintenance and improvement timelines, especially if you are not a full-time local resident. The last area that we are seeing people exit is the Chapel area. This area is beautiful and iconic and desirable because of the views. But because of the access, the road traffic, and how less functional the homes in this area are on a day-to-day basis, we see people exiting here. We see buyers getting excited about this area, but wanting to purchase in this area, and then the reality sets in when they get caught sitting in traffic for an hour trying to get to Uptown or West Sedona. Not only does the traffic affect their decision, but they realize that the homes are priced for the view, but do not deliver on modern function. The Chapel area still works for those buyers who want that iconic Sedona feel. And if you find the right home that is priced and positioned correctly, it can still be the dream area that you're looking for. If you're thinking of purchasing in the Chapel area, be mindful to not overpay for the views. If you are buying for full-time living, make sure the daily drive is going to fit into your schedule, not just the weekend buy. Before we move into part 2 of this video, I wanted to take a moment to invite you to download the relocation guide if you are considering a move to Sedona or anywhere in the Verde Valley area. The relocation guide not only provides information on Sedona, but the other towns in the Verde Valley as well. Just click the link or scan the QR code and it's emailed directly to you. And you can always schedule a call if you would prefer to speak directly. All right, next, let's talk about the areas where people are going instead and why. Number 1 is West Sedona. As I mentioned before, West Sedona tends to be the most practical version of Sedona for full-time living, just because of the ease for running daily errands and the convenient location to services and amenities that Sedona offers. Another reason why buyers are looking here is this area tends to have more restrictions on the short-term rental market. So the neighborhoods actually feel like neighborhoods and less like a revolving hotel door. Your neighbor doesn't change every 2 to 3 days. We also see buyers wanting a neighborhood that feels livable, not just scenic. And West Sedona really fits that need. But it works best for full-time relocations who want daily convenience while still being in Sedona. It also works for second home buyers who want lock and leave simplicity with good access and less friction. But be cautious, West Sedona is not one style. The next area where we see people moving to is the Village of Oak Creek. Remember, this is a double lane. We see people leaving the village as well as choosing the village. So why is that really? It is a strong area for buyers who want golf access, more home for the money, or a quieter residential setup. So why do we see people moving out of the village? I think it boils down to they really don't spend enough time evaluating how they want to live in Sedona. The village is a self-sorting lane. People move in when value wins. People move out when proximity wins. The village works best when you choose it intentionally and not as a compromise. Up next is Cornville. This little town is attracting attention and more buyers are taking notice of it. Why do you ask? Well, let's break it down. Cornville, Arizona is a quiet rural community known for its open space. It offers a slower country-style lifestyle. We see Cornville being considered more and more when buyers feel priced out of Sedona. And this is also an area that attracts those who really want the possibility of having a farmstead with animals and gardening hobbies. Cornville works best for full-time relocators who want the Verde Valley lifestyle with more breathing room. It also works for buyers who want privacy and are okay with being a little further from the Sedona daily. Some properties require a stronger maintenance plan because you are dealing with more land and more systems. So the infrastructure and property specifics can vary a lot in Cornville. So due diligence matters here. The next area we see people moving to may surprise you. Heck, I'm surprised at how much interest I get for the little town of Rimrock. Rimrock is a rural community known for its wide open desert landscapes and affordable housing options. It often is much quieter, off the beaten path lifestyle with a diverse living options. People are moving to Rimrock because they want to stay in the Verde Valley orbit while lowering the total home ownership costs. Buyers like the idea of getting more room to breathe while still being within the reach of Sedona. This shows up when people want a simpler version of the region, not necessarily the Sedona spotlight. Rimrock ultimately works for those buyers who want quiet, space, and a more relaxed daily routine. The people who are flexible on when they are driving into Sedona, and for the driven value relocators who want to be in the region without the Sedona costs, is also the people that love Rimrock. Make sure you understand the service access, utilities, and what the day-to-day looks like for your household. Last on the list is where people are moving to is Cottonwood. Cottonwood is the practical choice for a lot of people because daily services are easy and the price point can feel a lot more sustainable. It can be a better fit for people who want a true year-round town feel, not a destination rhythm. We see people purchasing here for several reasons. The buyers who want to prioritize convenience and a simpler routine, buyers who have done the price comparison to Sedona and they recognize that purchasing in Cottonwood allows them to still have the lifestyle that they can maintain long term. It works for buyers who want more home for the money, but still want Sedona within reach. And it works for those who want a stronger service and amenity based on day to day. If your plan is to spend most of your time in Sedona, be honest about the drive you will have to do weekly or daily. Neighborhood selection definitely matters in Cottonwood. Some areas live very differently than others. Okay, now that we have looked at where people are leaving and where people are going, next let's talk about what this means if you are buying in Sedona. Because this shift, it actually gives you opportunity. Here's what this means for you. You have more leverage than you did when everything felt automatic, especially in areas where people are leaving or where inventory is sitting a little longer. You can compare streets, layouts, and property conditions without feeling rushed. Negotiations are back, and they should absolutely be part of your buying strategy. In Sedona, the real decision is not just price, it's lifestyle fit plus ownership friction. Two homes at the exact same price can feel completely differently to live in. I tell my buyers this all the time. The most important thing you need to decide first is how you want to live here. Because buying the highlight reel and realizing later the lifestyle doesn't fit is a very expensive mistake. So what do we recommend doing? First, run the full ownership math early, not just the list price. Second, be conditional focused. If you want turnkey, shop in areas where turnkey actually exists and price it accordingly. The most expensive mistakes right now is buying a home that needs major updates at a price that assumes it's already updated. And last, use the market to protect yourself. If a home has been sitting, ask why. Then use that information to negotiate intelligently. And this is important. Do not fall in love with a home before you verify the area it's located in. If you are buying a second home, do not underestimate the lock and leave reality. The easier the home is to maintain, the more it tends to win right now. Buyers are prioritizing simplicity, less friction, and fewer surprises. So bottom line, this market gives you room to think, room to negotiate, and room to buy strategically instead of emotionally. And when you focus on lifestyle fit plus ownership reality and not just the photos and the views, that's when you end up loving the home long after closing. If you are selling in Sedona right now, we need to talk strategy, because what's happening in this market, it matters. And it's not a one size fits all anymore. Here's what all this means for you sellers. First, pricing matters more now than it ever has in years, especially in the cooling off areas of the market. The first price is the most important price. Buyers have options right now, and they are not stretching the way they used to. They are patient, they are comparing, and if you miss the mark with your price point, they move on. Second, condition is a separator again. Clean, staged, well-maintained homes are still moving fast. But homes that feel dated, deferred, or high maintenance, those are inviting tougher negotiations. Buyers are prioritizing ease right now. They don't want projects unless they are priced for projects. Third, Sedona is hyper-local. The overall market can look stable while your specific area or micro pocket is cooling off. That's why we don't just look at Sedona as a whole. We look street by street, subdivision by subdivision, sometimes even block by block. So what do we recommend doing? Number one, position the home honestly. If it's updated and turnkey, lean into that clearly, showcase it, highlight it, price it with confidence. If it needs work, price it like it needs work. Transparency builds trust, and trust gets offers and closes the deal. Number two, reduce friction wherever you can. Clear marketing. Make the home feel easy to say yes to. The smoother the experience feels, the more confident the buyers become. Number three, be ready for negotiation. Credits, repairs are normal when buyers have choices, and planning ahead for that in time keeps you in control instead of feeling blindsided. So expect it. Overpricing in a cooling area usually costs you more negotiating up front. Why? Because you lose momentum. Days on the market start stacking up, and then buyers assume that there's something wrong with you or the home, and then you end up chasing the market instead of leading it. And please do not assume that your neighbor's comp is your comp. In Sedona, street by street difference matters more than people think. Here's the bottom line. Buyers are being picky because they can be. They are prioritizing ease and condition and how the home fits into their daily routine. Sellers can absolutely still win in this market, and they are, but the strategy has to match the area and the property condition, not just the highlight reel. The biggest mistake right now is treating Sedona like it's one market instead of a map of micro markets, which it is. And when you price and position correctly within your specific pocket, that's when you stay ahead of the shift instead of reacting to it. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or relocating somewhere or anywhere in Sedona or the Verde Valley, and you want clarity on which areas are cooling off, where demand is shifting and what buyers are doing in your exact price range right now, reach out using the link in the description and we can talk it through. I'm Cami with the Living in Sedona group, and we help buyers and sellers across Sedona and the Verde Valley, and we'll give you a straight answer on what is happening in your specific area right now so you can make the move with confidence. Make it a great day at Living in Sedona, and I'll see you next week.